I'm Brian Hickson, the Neuroscience Director of the Brain Performance Centers. In the next 3 minutes, I'm going to discuss the most important thing you can do to protect your brain health during this pandemic. The isolation, the fear, the disruption of our normal life is taking a tremendous toll on our mental health. So many of us, sleep is disrupted, anxiety is at an all-time high, the feelings of depression and hopelessness are becoming the new normal. I normally get great sleep. I can fall asleep quick and stay asleep all night, but 2 weeks ago I started waking up at 2 a.m. and my brain wouldn't turn off and I couldn't fall back asleep. I didn't feel stressed, but I would lie there awake for 2 hours. It was torture. I truly believe God does this to me every so often just so I have empathy for those people that battle with this every single night. On my third torturous night, when I was lying there awake at 3 a.m., I started researching the connection between sleep and viral infection. I was blown away by what I found on the CDC's own website. I want you to look at this next slide. Research shows even modest amount of sleep loss reduce natural killer cells an average of 72%. Natural killer cells are your body's first line of defense against viral infection. They attack and kill off infected cells before they can replicate. I want you to stop and think about that for a minute. Poor sleep lowers your ability to fight off viruses by 72%. That should scare us. Our immune systems require proper sleep cycles to produce natural killer cells. So the fear and stress from the virus causes anxiety, which disrupts our sleep, which makes us nearly 4 times more vulnerable to the virus itself. This is a vicious cycle we have to stop. We have to manage our anxiety during this pandemic, or it's going to cause a mental health aftermath that will last for years and years to come. This next slide on the CDC's website shows how much sleep protects us from the viruses. First, natural killer cell function decreases and the risk of viral infection increases. With decreased natural killer cells, the virus can replicate faster throughout the body. Second, inflammatory cytokines increase and the risk of respiratory infection and pneumonia increase as well. Third, antibody production decreases and the severity and the duration of the viral infection can increase. I can honestly tell you I had no idea how important sleep was to defending us from viruses. I knew poor sleep greatly increased the risk of Alzheimer's disease, anxiety, depression, but making us 4 times more vulnerable to viruses, I had no idea. Lastly, on this slide, I want to warn you that certain meds used to treat anxiety and induce sleep, such as Ativan and Xanax, actually reduce your quality of sleep and can actually weaken your immune system. There is no shortcut when it comes to sleep. It's totally normal to have a bad night sleep occasionally. But if you or someone close to you are struggling with chronic sleep issues, with anxiety, with depression, I strongly suggest you look at neurofeedback. Neurofeedback training normalizes the brain's EEG patterns that are at the root of most of these conditions. You can even do neurofeedback training from your home. After 3 nights of my torturous sleep, I finally started doing neurofeedback myself. After 5 sessions, my sleep is back on track to a solid, beautiful 8 hours. My wife and I are both doing neurofeedback training at home. This is to counter the mental effects of being isolated at home, trying to homeschool our kids, the fear of COVID-19 all around us, and the feeling like we're in the apocalypse every time we go to Costco. I believe neurofeedback training may be the one thing that's keeping us both somewhat sane during this time. Please share this video. People need to know that they may be 4 times more vulnerable with infection if they aren't getting enough sleep.